Had a white man kissing you. No wonder why the brother stayed dissing you. Talking about some haram. He going against every single verse in the Quran. Same one to tell you not to pay for the pussy. Cause like a pimp said, he's on team bussy. I can't fuck with a dude like Myron. He was with the feds and the ones with the sirens. Yo, what's happening, world? Name's Raheem Flowers, and you know I had to go rock my tether gear just for Jason, lack authority, and the other faceless Wizard Kelly ass nigga, Suburban Whiny Pete, as well as me getting ready to address the Manosphere. Now, I titled this video after the real name of Myron Gaines. Yes, Amrou. I named it after your ass. So, apparently there's this whole debauchery going on, this whole debacle about Just Pearls putting on self-proclaimed, proud white supremacist Nick Fuentes on her platform and saying that in retrospect, in hindsight, slavery wasn't really a big deal. Well, guess what? I'm not even going to come from that pseudo-neo pro-black place. I'm not here to sound like Patrice Lumumba. I'm not here to sound like Booker T. Washington. I'm not here to sound like El Malik Shabazz or Malcolm X. I'm not here to talk like Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Nah, I'm not going that angle because I told y'all I don't claim to be that pro-black shit. I don't do that. Even though I love my melanated brothers and sisters within the whole diaspora, I'm just here to lay down the facts. Jason, if we just really sum up what he was saying, we could delineate it to him basically saying that the Manosphere was simping over Pearl, which I don't even disagree with. They have no backbone. They have no pride. The fact that these niggas were deifying an effeminate, sassy-ass nigga like Kevin Samuels was a clear testament of that. In addition, speaking of which, sassiness, Jason is in no moral position to say anything about any man caping for another woman because you did that shit with Melissa Ortiz when you and Tommy were having your back and forth back in 2014. Last time I checked, you were married to a white bitch. Last time I checked, you have Edgar Cleaver, a dude who was a rapist, as your AVI. Even to this day, in 2023, you never got rid of it, you never replaced it. So that should tell you the mindset of somebody like Jason, lack authority. This dude, we don't even know if he's actually black or not, because similar to Suburban Whiny Pete, he's a faceless motherfucker too. How could you sit here and talk about revolution? What are you a part of the anonymous group where those dudes wear masks? I didn't know that you were a part of the anonymous group. Is this some sort of black faction of the anonymous group that you and Sarge are a part of? Let me know. Because if you brothers are doing this and you're trying to go incognito and you're trying to fight the enemy from within, hey, be my guest. Sarcasm. We know they ain't about that life. They're all just cowards on the internet. Remember that bullshit documentary he came out with, 7 a.m.? But here, I'm not even here to just go on an extensive diatribe towards Jason lack authority. Like, I've seen the video with mediocre tutorial review, and he's actually one of the few brothers I usually respect his perspective on things out of everybody in the Manosphere. And you know what? I just think that a lot of them they shot themselves in the foot. I mean, you sat personally with Pearl, and y'all seemed really chummy with one another. Don't you guys in the Manosphere and the Red Spill community always talk about vetting women? Then why didn't you vet Pearl? And let's not forget O'Shea. O'Shea wants to talk about he's officially done with the Manosphere. Nigga, this is not even the first time you said this shit. Now you want to go full Pan-African. Now you want to take over. You want to take over this whole RBG. You going that pseudo neo pro black route officially now. First, it was you trying to take Tommy Sotomayor and David Carroll's talking points. Then it was the whole Manosphere shit. You out here slurping up the semen of Kevin Samuels and sniffing his ashes like fucking cocaine with them elephant trunk nose that you got, them nostrils, man. Them aardvark nostrils of yours and shit. But yeah, I find it so interesting when I hear you motherfuckers go on and on and on and on about how these black women are and how they just go and latch on to the white daddies. And you know, Brother Kel's right. A lot of these black women are surrogate mothers of white supremacy. But guess what? You all did the same damn thing with Pearl. And now you realize that the chickens have come home to roost. No backbone. Just because someone tells you something that sounds good, y'all just go for that shit. I mean, shout out to Crimson Cure. Shout out to Ashley W. Shout out to Tea and Crumpets, even though I don't see that sister anymore. I don't know about Danica. I gotta see how that one plays out with that sister. But anyways, look, y'all don't even want to promote. Y'all don't even, like, I could even give Anton Daniels credit for at least giving Crimson Cure a platform to speak on. Shout out to the brother for doing that. So I'm not even trying to make it seem like there aren't brothers out there who are trying to reach out and trying to expand. But most of you dudes in the manhole sphere are just flapping your gums and going in these fake ass man caves of yours and just gossiping and having this no girls allowed shit. But then again, y'all are the seeds of suburban whiny Pete. So I expect nothing less to bitch and complain and have no viable solutions. Y'all do this shit for years. But then again, the apple never falls far from the tree. You're a son of a bitch, so I get it. But at least y'all have the temerity to show y'all faces, so I'm gonna at least acknowledge that. Man, I gotta say, shout out to Nefakari Desalini, man. Keep doing me proud, young brother. Reminds me of the old me when I started making videos when I was 23 back in 2016. But let me continue on with Jason Lack Authority. Do y'all know that this man used to dick ride the shit out of Tommy Sotomayor? Oh yeah, he was even on Tommy Sotomayor's classics. There was a video called Simp 101, which is quite ironic. And him and Tommy had that fallout, and a lot of it was centered around the woman I spoke about earlier, Melissa Ortiz, the little mulatto woman who used to have all these critical things to say about black women, right? Then he started to latch on to who? Tariq Nasheed. And then from then on, he became this fanboy and this fanatic of Tariq's philosophies and talking points and just who he is as a person. You know, if anybody who watches, I mean, a lot of people shit on this anime, this sequel anime, Boruto. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Code, who worships the Otsutsuki, who are gods in the Boruto series / Naruto / Boruto series. You see Tariq as a god. You deify this man. You adopt his talking points with all that FBA shit that he be talking. I'm not a Pan-African. By no means. Even though I have a lot of respect for what the brothers of yesteryear have done. But one thing I have to say is, from a holistic standpoint, Pan-Africanism has always, will always do more for melanated beings within the diaspora than FBA and ADOS combined. When them Haitian brothers started that, they did something. They did something very monumental. Even to the point where the American government had to get involved in that shit. And listen, what I'm about to say, I'm not here to create division amongst my melanated American brothers and sisters within the diaspora, but I gotta lay down the facts. Remember Mark Vesey, who helped liberate many slaves down there in Carolina? Guess what? He is what Tariq Nasheed would call a tether. A black immigrant. He was from the Caribbean. And he got outed by a melanated American slave. Let's not forget about Prince Hall, who was also somebody who was partaking in the abolition of slavery. Now you can talk about the Prince Hall Black Masonic ties all you want, but that brother has done more than any of these pseudo-neo pro-blacks combined. And when I heard that epic-ass ether roast that my man Neferkari Desalini did towards Jason Lack Authority, one thing that I wish the brother would have touched on was, I find it amazing how all these fake-ass pro-blacks could go around when it comes to antiquated history and what we of melanated beings have done holistically. Everybody wants to be Pan-African. Everybody likes to talk about Kemet and the Second Dynasty. Everybody likes to talk about Mali and Timbuktu and Mansa Musa. Everybody likes to reference the Zulu Nation and how they had these white men fucking shook because Shaka Zulu was proficient with his military tactics. Everybody likes to do that. Everybody likes to take the Pan-African route when it comes to antiquated history and holistic contributions throughout the world. But then you have these dudes talking about some cut the check, cut the check, cut the check. Yeah, man, we FBA over here. Yeah, man, we ADOS. So, okay, few things I want to touch on. I've never been opposed to my melanated American brothers and sisters exclusively gaining reparations and compensation. Hell, the Caribbeans have done it. You can look this shit up. I've never had any opposition to that. That has never, ever, and will never, ever be my argument. The only thing that I inquire, only thing that I ask is, what will you do with the money once you acquire it, if you acquire it? And you never get a straight answer. You'll never get a straight answer. You'll never get a solid answer. You never get an answer that is aligned and that is adjacent with each other. You just say that the white man owes you money because we built this country, because we had brothers like Benjamin Banneker, who was the architect of America, which is very true. But none of you have the mindset that Benjamin Banneker had. None of you have the mindset that George Washington Carver had. None of you have the mindset that this brother right here, black man by the name of John Boyd, he is a black farmer, an agriculturist. Don't you see, isn't it funny how you can talk about self-sufficiency and entrepreneurship and doing for self, but I never heard Tariq Nasheed bring up John Boyd. I never heard Jason Black Authority bring up John Boyd. I never heard Professor Truth bring up John Boyd. I never heard Suburban Whiny Pete, never heard Sarge bring up John Boyd or any brothers of that ilk. Nope. You sit here, bitch about white supremacy, and where has it gotten you? Y'all niggas have been doing this shit for years. Longer than me. And I've been making videos for 7 years. I'm like, clearly this formula isn't working. The only disagreement that I had with Neferkari in that video was there was a lot of talking points of Pan-Africanism within the golden era of hip-hop and within the late 80s, whether we're talking about Rakim Allah, whether we're talking about Public Enemy, whether we're talking about X-Clan, whether we're talking about Ice Cube when he defected from the NWA. So that would probably be my only slight disagreement with him, that there was definitely that morale boost. And that's one thing I could give early Pan-Africanism before the Umar's ass showed up, and before the O'Shea Duke Jackson of the world showed up, old face Dookie Jackson of the world showed up. Like, there was that sense of synergy. There was that unification, and there was that aura emanating throughout certain brothers and figures who at least attempted to make a move. That's one thing I say about Pan-Africanism. They gave a sense of morale, and they actually, many of the brothers walked the walk. They weren't just saying cut the check. When you think about my Haitian brothers out there, they had the Haitian Constitution. So anybody within the diaspora, whoever sought refuge, could come to Haiti back when Haiti was prosperous and prior to all the fuck shit that NATO/France has done to Haiti. They even doing it to this day when they assassinated the Haitian president, or prime minister rather, back in 2021. But you would think that all these cats who talk about reparations and the system of white supremacy would have more knowledge about geopolitics. I never heard any of them talk about, just like I said in my video on YouTube Street Volume 3, I never heard them talk about confronting the UN about the matters of reparations or confronting the Federal Reserves. All they do is fucking make YouTube videos, try to get you to donate to their super chats or GoFundMes or Patreons and Cash Apps. But they ain't gonna do nothing for you. They ain't gonna do nothing for the diaspora. They ain't gonna do nothing for Black Americans. They ain't gonna do nothing. Just slap their gums and ramble on. That's the funny thing. You gatekeep who is and who isn't black. So see, what can show, let me show you the blatant hypocrisy of these pseudo neo-pro-black niggas. You blatantly, let me show you how you are a tool for white supremacy. I don't even believe in it, but for the sake of argument, let's use their bullshit talking points. How is it that you can gatekeep other melanated beings within the diaspora and tell you who is and who isn't black? What could be more of a white supremacist tactic than gatekeeping other black people, especially when it comes to the subject of prosperity, of progression, of pragmatism? What could be more white supremacist-like than gatekeeping who is and who isn't black? Oh, I know that's a high IQ question for you niggas. I know that is. I know that's gonna require critical thinking, Sarge. What you like to bitch and complain about. I know it's gonna require critical thinking that you say black people, including yourself, lack. Fuck you talking about? Told you I was coming for your neck this year, and just moving forward in general. And you too, Jason, lack authority. You already know, Tariq, the man that you worship, he, by his own admission of a recent interview, I believe it was on Say Cheese TV. It was one of them Vlad-like interviews that Tariq had recently. I believe it was Say Cheese TV. Correct me if I'm wrong, any of y'all in the audience. Tariq even admitted that he ushered in the Manosphere. So here you are shitting on the same thing that your god, Tariq Nashida, made. Mr. FBA is the one who ushered in those bastardized bastard children. Him and Sarge. Both of them are your boys, Jason. But you ain't gonna confront them about that. Ain't that hilarious? But there's just too many cognitive dissonance within the diaspora now, isn't it? You a sucker, you a hypocrite, just like the man that I named this video after, Amrou Fudl. Y'all don't care, y'all just want to sit here and virtue signal all day and pontificate. You don't give a fuck that Myron is the Arab clerk in the corner store taking money from black people who are fucking killing themselves over liquor and cigarettes that they themselves will not partake in because they know that is in the Quran called haram. You don't mind indulging in their bullshit, but then shitting on them for exploiting and for sitting here and optimizing off of black people. You have no problem. You just want a virtue signal. It's just like saying, man, these Arab man, these Arabs and the China man, they taking all these black businesses and they be doing that in the hood. But you still see many black people out here purchasing those said items in the hood that these said group of people that they're patronizing within their business. Don't you find that so hilariously hypocritical? All these black people who shit on Fresh and Fit are the same motherfuckers who will watch their shows, who will sit here and laugh, who will sit here and chuckle on yo. When Myron and Fresh fuck around and say we don't dabble in the dark and we don't fuck with the Shaniquas and we don't mess with the Night Riders, y'all still gonna tune into they shit. Why you think Waka Flocka, a man who has similar talking points to Dane Calloway, could go on Fresh and Fit recently? Have whole interviews on their Money Mondays, as they call it. See, I peeped the cognitive dissonance with my third eye. Y'all niggas are nothing but full of shit. Almost every last one of y'all. This is why I only have a small circle of people who I have an immense amount of respect for, who y'all know who I've mentioned throughout my videos over the timeline and over the years. But you ain't one of them, Jason Lack Authority. You ain't one of them, Suburban Whiny Pete. You ain't one of them, Mr. FBA, Tariq Nashida. Y'all weak, con artists, grifters, pretentious fucks who ain't about shit. But yeah, I'm gonna end off my video there. Shout out to my man Desalini for igniting the flame in my spirit. Because like one of my other favorite YouTubers, content creators, who is a melanated American, who is a black American, by the way, Barricade Garage says, all you motherfuckers do is firebend. And then you notice that there was a shift when it came to unity, but then y'all started to create dissension amongst the diaspora. So now you started to earthbend. In other words, to put it in other terms, all you're doing is appealing to ignorance and appealing to people's emotions. So keep thinking that you can keep rolling with these logical fallacies of y'all's. It's gonna catch up. Watch. Peace out.